say some special prayers for Michaela because it is March. It's the best time of the year.
Oh my gosh.
If you don't know, the brackets are coming out on Sunday. I think everyone knows, the importance of this season.
Let me tell you, Ransom keeps telling me that March Madness hasn't officially started yet. It has for me, okay?
Hey everybody, Ransom and Michaela back with you.
Hello.
Hope you've all been well. We're excited to get back on here, do another fun video for you all. Today we're going to be doing, essentially it's a TikTok challenge where we get to learn a little bit more about one another. I actually wanted to do one of these at our wedding, but we didn't get a chance to, so now we're getting to do it today.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So this will be fun.
Okay.
And then we're gonna too, we've been married for a year now, and we just kind of like to put a little bit of a recap on our year, like what we've learned, new things that we've just figured out about ourselves as individuals, and also what we've figured out about our spouse as well. So just excited to share and do this with you guys. So
let's do it. You want to do the challenge? Let's see who.
Let's do it.
I feel like we know each other pretty well after the first year, but we might have a little bit of disagreeing, if you know what I mean. All right.
14 questions for couples. Who is the better dancer? Who is the better cook? Who is more affectionate? Who is more likely to get arrested? Who is more needy? Who is more of a daredevil? Who takes more dumps? Who initiates date night? Who is more friendly? Who initiates sexy time? Who orders more packages? Who's more likely to crack their phone? Who's most likely to get lost? Who spends more money?
No! What the heck? Let's break this down for y'all a little bit. I was surprised. It's surprising to me that he's more affectionate, but I initiate sexy time more.
I just like to cuddle.
He just likes to hold me.
And sometimes I don't know if it's purely out of affection. I think at the beginning stages of us dating, it was out of affection, but now it's
Just to annoy
it's
me.
kind of to annoy her. I mean, I do adore my sister too, but I would do this stuff to her constantly, and she'd lock herself in her room so I couldn't annoy her anymore.
Annie,
Yeah.
help. We're kind of both. I don't know, maybe I am a bigger spender, but I will say that I spend things on work, my dance stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge shopper. I'm not a shopper.
We're not really big spenders really to begin with. But I mean, honestly, I feel like I can be, but
You think you're a better cook
I
than
don't
me?
know. Honestly,
I literally just made you a meal from scratch
Yeah,
yesterday.
you did. Yeah, she did. She made me pork chops, and it was good. So I don't know. You probably are. I don't know. Honestly,
He follows directions
I
better.
follow directions well.
But I can whip up something sometimes.
It's true.
Marriage is just all of those things, like learning how we clean, learning what time of day we eat, how we spend. I mean, I think that we agree a lot on things, so it's been nice to just see how much we actually are alike. We're kind of even playing field for most things, but we just have different ways of going about it.
Yeah, plus I feel like we're both fairly easygoing people. I don't really feel like either one of us is that high maintenance really. We don't really need
a whole lot
to be satisfied and content, I
Right.
guess. So
Right.
but
but we
time
actually
goes on.
also love to enjoy a lot of different things. We enjoy being around people, going out, having those social interactions. And honestly, I'm realizing everything costs you something. If you're saying yes to something, you're definitely saying no to something else. And I didn't notice that as much as a single person. I think it's because, you have your own life, you're making your own income, saving your money, so you kind of have this freedom, so to speak, to just kind of make these little decisions. But when being married, I'm just realizing all of those little small choices make a huge difference. And it is very noticeable. It's just exposed, like who you are as a person, what you enjoy doing. It really is exposed when you're sharing your life with someone.
Yeah, and you can't make those decisions anymore just solely based on yourself. You're also having to factor in a whole nother individual, a whole nother, person into, any decision that you're making. Like, even if it's as silly of a decision as like, oh, we want takeout, what am I gonna get? Like, you don't just have the freedom of, oh, I want PF Chang's. Like, no, I gotta go check with Michaela and like, this is what we're doing. And yeah.
Which is a great, I mean, it's also really nice to be able to do that because you just grow as an individual. Like, certain things I've learned, one thing that I am better about doing is eating at home. I grew up in a home where we ate at home, but we also had our fair share of like having those, I mean, it's how we bonded. We would go out to restaurants and eat and talk and laugh. And I think that we do that sometimes, but we eat at home a lot. We cook here a lot. And it's just made me a better cook, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and I guess that's probably just part of like, it's part of my makeup too. Like, I've always, I grew up on a farm, so we bonded over the dinner table, like over the home cooked meals and things like that, because we just didn't have like the access. And so that's still something that's really ingrained in me, is just sharing meals at home. And I'm excited to do that together. I'm excited to do that with friends, with family, someday when we have kids. That would be exciting.
Yeah.
So.
And I also think that I've learned a lot about just how to be patient. I am the type of person, if I want something or see something or I'm inspired by something, I just like, I want to go, get up and do it, go. But being married has just slowed me down in a great way, where I've had to take my time more about making decisions, life decisions. Also, just in my traveling, I go and I work with different people, and most of the time when I would get an opportunity, it was just like yes and go, and I didn't consider the time of month or the time of day. But now it's like I get those things and I have to communicate that to Ransom. I have to share with him, where I'm going, what time. All of those little small details are vital. And I would say that's something that I learned.
Your schedule is more like sporadic and mine's more defined. Just important for me to know like what she has going on, like. And also, like I have things that I'm prioritizing in my life too that, I want to get done. And it's just, you can't be doing it in a solo capacity. Like, everything has to be done, with the other person in mind. And just being thoughtful. And we operate, it's not like we're in business together. Like, we both have our work, and our work looks very different, but it's still, there's commitments every week for both of us. So
I would encourage new young married couples to pray together. I think we've started doing that. I think that's been one of the biggest challenges, is to stay consistent with praying. But I would just encourage that, because for me, whenever we do that, I feel a sense of indescribable peace throughout that day. Whereas other times, if I just wake up and let's say I have some days off and I'm just like on my phone, it really does overwhelm me. And if I'm having a bad day, that definitely affects Ransom, vice versa. And so I really just encourage people, whether married or single, to start their day off with prayer and some sort of just communicating about what God is doing in your life, or where you are just feeling full, because I think that communication is key.
Really good advice. And I think they're even just little habits. It just comes into like, kind of getting your mindset out of like, oh, I just gotta kind of hustle and just like up out of bed, to the desk, to work, like
Yeah.
busy all day long, all of these things that I got to accomplish. Like, yeah, I think it's like seeing the value and just setting aside like it doesn't have to be large amounts of time for like
No.
these little minor habits of things that can like just set you up to be just in a better place mentally and emotionally.
I would say that would be the biggest challenge for me personally within the marriage this year. I think both of us, we are hard workers, and so we really take that seriously, and sometimes we can get so focused on the grind that it can actually cause us to feel just helpless in a way and kind of feel drained and not really have enough energy for one another because we are so focused on just like A to Z, making sure that we're working really hard and getting all of our needs met. And I would say our intentions are there. Like, we want to have a better life, not just for ourselves, but for our future, for each other. Like, we really want to be just there and support one another. And I think sometimes even with well intentions, just overworking and focusing on it so much where it just can cause turmoil is not good. And when I say turmoil, I just mean that internal like
it hasn't really been a thing for us where we've run into like, oh, you're working too much. I mean, I guess sometimes in the evenings when I work a little past 6 o'clock, like you get upset at me. But it hasn't really been an issue. I think it is more of like a interpersonal thing where it's like we're putting the onus on ourselves. Like, I gotta do this. I gotta get this accomplished. I just really gotta get this wrapped up, and takes away from the other person and what they're getting to, the energy that they're getting out of, the other, vice versa. So
yeah. You have an encouraging verse that I was going to share just from reading time. I was reading in John, and I believe it's chapter 7 or 8 or something like that. I'll put it in the description below. But Jesus, he was obviously healing a lot of people, and just with his 12 disciples, doing a lot of miraculous things. And they were encouraging him to go to Galilee so that his works could be seen and so that he would be celebrated and accepted. And I think so often, sometimes we're like working really hard and like wanting to get to a certain level for it to be recognized and to be celebrated. And I know, like how we were saying, like we're working and sometimes we're just having that mentality of like, I want to make someone happy. I want to make our spouse happy or just people around us happy. But Jesus, he said, it's not the time for that. And basically he went to Galilee in private. He went in secret. And so I think that oftentimes we forget that we have an audience of one and that he's already accepted us. Jesus, he loves us so much, and all of the work that we're doing, it doesn't mean that it has to stop, but we just have to have that mentality that God, he already sees us, he knows us, and he loves us. And all of the things that we are doing really are just to serve a greater purpose, which is to glorify him at the end of the day. We're on this earth to do that.
I think most people, they find, a lot of their value where, they define themselves by, their output and, what they do, like their work, their daily, whatever they're contributing to society. And it's great. Like that's a great thing to see value in yourself. But when like that's like your number one thing, that like this is what defines me, is my job and my career, it can just get disconnected with like what is like the true definition of who we are and what we should be seeing our identity in.
Exactly. And that's exactly what he lived. He knew exactly who he was, the Son of God, and what his purpose was on this earth. And so when others' voices tried to define him or tell him this is what you should be doing because everyone else is doing this, he knew exactly who he was, and he was confident in his purpose and his identity. And that didn't stop him from performing the wonderful miracles. His heart and his intention wasn't to do it to impress other people. And so I think that is awesome what you're saying about identity and who we are in Christ. So I think that kind of sums up our biggest takeaway from our first year of marriage. We'll learn so much more, I'm sure. But we love you, and we hope that you've enjoyed this video.
Say some special prayers for Michaela, because it is March. It's the best time of the year.
Oh my gosh.
If you don't know, the brackets are coming out on Sunday. I think everyone knows, the importance of this season.
Let me tell you.
So yeah, just be praying for my wife.
Ransom. Basketball has been on 24/7, pretty much. Please lift me up in prayer. If I hear another commentator, I think that I just might, I don't know, fall over. But yes, we love you. See you. Hey, if you have not subscribed already, please subscribe to our channel. We love you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.